Hi, I'm Alex, a librarian in the Flaxman Library. Today we're going to check out Zotero, an open source research tool that you can use to manage your citations. To start, I'll show you what my Zotero looks like and some of my favorite features. I have downloaded the Zotero application and linked it to my free Zotero account, and as you can see, I've got a lot of citations. This area is my library, where I can see all of the citations I've ever saved to Zotero. In this case, over 400. However, to keep more organized, I have citations in collections in these blue folders on the left-hand pane. As you can see when I click on the grad school dropdown, I had them organized by my classes, as well as organized by what projects I was working on during those classes. The exciting thing about Zotero, though, is that you can organize however you feel is best. For now, I'll go to one of my old project files. You'll notice that each citation has an icon next to it indicating its type in Zotero. If I click on one of these citations, I see that that icon corresponds to the item type. Zotero holds a lot of different item types, which is really cool, and it uses this to determine how best to form the citation if you generate a bibliography. So how do I add items to Zotero? Do I input all of this information that you can see by hand? Well, I could, using this green plus icon in the top to add any new item and in those categories that I just showed you, but instead I use something really cool called the Zotero connector. The Zotero connector is a plugin I've added to my web browser. In this window, I have an article I want to read that I found using the library search open. I'll click to see the text in the database first, and then I'll use the Zotero connector. Once I've gotten to the item in the database, I can look next to my address bar of my browser and I see this icon. In this case, Zotero will show you what it believes it is capturing when you click on the icon to the Zotero connector. This is the article icon, and that is what it is capturing, which is great. So if I click on this, it will automatically save it to the last place I have open in Zotero actively at the moment, but I can change that using this dropdown as it's saving, or I can fix it back in Zotero the software. More exciting than that, the connector will capture and save the full text PDF if it's available. You don't have to worry about saving the PDF locally if Zotero captures it, which you can see whenever it's picking up the citation in the connector. So after a citation is saved using the connector, I do a few things. Returning to Zotero, I make sure it's saved in the proper collection, and I move it if it did not. In this case, it did. It highlights automatically the most recent thing you saved to it using the connector, so it's easy to spot. But if I wanted to, I could easily drag and drop this to a different collection. Next, I check that the metadata it automatically grabbed for me is all correct. First, making sure that the item type is accurate, then checking that the formatting for the title and authors are good, and then making sure it got all of that other information that I'm going to need for my citations. It's a good idea to keep in mind what citation style you're planning to use and what's required for it. Finally, I see if this dot next to the citation listing is blue. If it's filled in blue, it means that Zotero was able to capture the PDF for me. If you click the dropdown, you'll be able to find it that way, or you can double-click the blue dot and it will open the PDF for you. The final feature I'll show you that's one of my all-time favorites is generating a pre-made citation list. To do this, I can select as many items as I would like from my collection, right-click, and choose Create Bibliography from Items. When I do that, it gives me a number of citation styles to choose from, which is really cool, and then I can make sure that I know the output method. In most cases, you'll find it beneficial to just copy it to your clipboard. So if I click OK, nothing appears necessarily, but the citations are copied to my clipboard. I can then go into the document I'm working on and do a simple paste to get my entire bibliography. If I've kept clean metadata, this list should be pretty much ready to go, but I always recommend checking them against the citation of whichever manual you are using to make sure that nothing is missed or accidentally mistaken, such as italics or having the quotations in the correct place, etc. It's always good practice to triple check before you turn something in. And those are my favorite features in Zotero. If you're interested in using the citation management tool after watching this video, navigate to zotero.org, click Download on the home screen, and then make sure that you download the right version for the machine you're operating on. To maximize Zotero and use the plugin highlighted in this video, You can also install the Zotero connector to the browser of your choice. If you start working with Zotero for your research and have questions, you can always set up a research consultation with one of the librarians like me for one-on-one help. Just email flaxman@saic.edu and we'll go from there.